All right, everybody. If you are trying to write a book, we are here to teach you everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote your best-selling book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, celebrating 8 years and 48 books in print and 12 more at least in the works right now. I'm with our superstar author, Joanie Lindenmeyer, author of the best-selling Nun Better, An Amazing Love Story. And we come to you live every Friday to talk about all the things you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. And as you can see, Joni is up to her usual antics to add some excitement to the conversation. And she now has a micro magnifying glass. So, Joni, what's up?
Our topic today is editing, looking at things with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying lens. We have to change how we see the big picture to the small details called trimming the fat, trimming the flab, as Elizabeth says. I have my props. We're going to cut and we're going to cut and we're going to cut and teach you all about how to edit.
Oh, Joni, you are so fun. Okay, so Joni just held up a magnifying glass, binoculars, a knife, scissors. Was there, sorry, surprised you don't have a chainsaw in there somewhere.
I thought about it. About it.
So,
Great idea. Should I run to the shed?
so, so the topic obviously is editing and the importance of editing because you can write your story, you can write your scene, but then it's going to be redundant, flabby, and in need of editing to tighten it up, to make it more clear. And so Joni and I have had this experience in many ways. Starting with None Better, she wrote a 534-page book that I together, well, I edited it down, but it was with her approval and review of everything. So we literally took out 234 pages of stories. And the book is 300 pages and it's phenomenal. So I believe less is more, and editing is the task that achieves that goal. So, Joni, tell me your thoughts when we edited None Better. How did you feel? You had written all those passages and then we didn't use them.
Bummed. It was like, how can I put 40 years of my life in the book in terms of writing? And it was like, could have gone for 1,000 more pages. And then when you said we need to trim it, we need to cut it, I'm going, that's cutting a part of my life. I cut that out of my life. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to do it. And I thought, oh, there must be a lot of wisdom in this because I don't like it when somebody goes rambling on and on and on, or a book goes on and on and on. It's like, get to the point, get to the point. What are you really trying to say? What is this all about? Get to the point. And it reminded me of, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but when I first taught at San Diego High School in California, it was right over the airline entrance into their San Diego International Airport. So teaching phys ed outside, I became an expert at giving 10-second, 15-second directions to my 50, 60, 70 students, because otherwise I would be not heard because of the airplane noise. So I had to tighten up exactly what did I need to tell them in that 10, 15, 20 seconds max. And that's what editing is. It's the same thing. And thanks be to God, you did the None Better editing. And I just had to review it because I didn't know what to cut. I didn't have a clue. Thank you, Elizabeth.
You're welcome. I love that comparison. And the bottom line is getting people's attention and keeping it. And when you ramble on, it's boring and people close the book or stop listening. So thank you for that. So now we're in phase two of editing because we're working on the two books that you and I are collaborating on, Joyously Free and Healing Religious Hurts. So not only am I editing your work, my work, but we also have dozens of contributors from across the country who've shared their stories, and they're not professional writers, but they've done an excellent job. They've really done a great job of writing their stories. So here we are. And what I do as an editor, I have the perspective of having never read something. So when I read it with fresh eyes, as opposed to you, Joni, rereading what you've already written, you're so
Yes.
close to it. You can't see. You're in love with every word. You can't see
Yes.
what needs to
Yes.
come out, but I can with that fresh view and my experience of writing and publishing more than 50 books. That's just what I do. It's instinctual and it's a gift. So it's fun too. So I call it literary liposuction, where you have to extract the flab. Of course, you have a blue plaid knife.
You are the cutter. You are the master sharpening edge sword that just zips right through everything.
Yes, yes. And thankfully, using computers makes it so easy to just highlight, cut out, condense, rewrite. It's awesome. I love it. It does take the precision of a surgical knife because you don't want to remove the author's voice. You don't want to sterilize the writing. Joni writes Yahoo and Wowzer and all these words in there. Like that's her personality. So you can't take that out. You have to preserve the voice of the writing. And so that takes skill and precision as well. And you also have to, as the editor, respect the author's voice and way of expressing her or himself. So that's exciting. But
Yes. And what you're really good at, Elizabeth, along with that editing and what you just said, is you're able to move things around like a puzzle. And it was like when I wrote None Better and I had this certain paragraph or the certain story in a certain area, you were like, we're gonna move it over here. We're going to move it over here. We're going to combine this and combine that. And it's like, I'm not a bartender, but it's like, it must be like mixing a drink of being able to figure out what
oh,
goes with what and where and how. You're
yeah.
just like the primo expert on that. I don't know how your brain
Oh,
can do it. My brain gets exhausted just thinking of it.
wow. Thank you for that awesome comparison, Joni.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It is. And it's also very intrinsic. It's instinctual. Like I just know, like the chef who just sprinkles in the right amount of herbs without measuring them. They just know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Good
anyway, that's
analogy.
exciting. So, here's another cool thing about editing and writing, because the two books Joni and I are doing, we're both writing passages for the book. And when I sit down to write mine, I have written stuff that I didn't know was going to come out. And it's wild. And I'm like, okay, is this where it's supposed to go? But I just trust
Yeah.
that it's Joni and I are both very deeply spiritual, and I feel it's divinely guided. This is the message I'm supposed to provide. And if it's too, whatever, I don't know. I'm not trying to analyze how will people receive this because the my mission is to help people, and this is how I help people. Joni, you're the same way, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And you're exactly right. I was up to 1 o'clock last night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and things were just flowing out of me. That's like, this is coming from, but this is brilliant. This is beautiful. And so send it to Elizabeth. I'm editing the tips and the things to go in our chapters. And it's
Oh,
like, oh my gosh, this is just incredible where it's coming from. You don't know where it's coming from.
yeah.
And it's even hard for me to talk about it. You're the articulate one. Oh, boy.
It's really exciting though, but writing is really a supernatural experience because when you follow the calling to write a book, it's not really about us. We are just the vessels to bring the message through us, through our lens of experience, through our voice into the world. And then when we follow the call and we're obedient to the divine directive, it flows through us as a voice from source. Source can be the universe, God, Jesus, angels, ancestors, you name it. It's bigger than us, your higher self. Whatever you call it, there is this energy and we are the transmission towers for it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you
And,
think
and that's
about it,
full of surprises.
yes,
It's
exactly.
full of surprises. Oh my God. At first I thought, I think my freesia's getting in the way. Oh, I have this beautiful freesia from my yard. And if you've ever smelt a freesia, it's just fragrant, fragrant, fragrant. And I thought, here I am at 1 o'clock in the morning, and all these surprises are hitting me. And going, God, am I intoxicated with this beautiful freesia? It's like, no, no, I'm still sane. It's just a beautiful surprise
Oh,
from the divine.
oh, if we could all be intoxicated by the scent of flowers. Wow. Hey, Frisia, joyously free. It frees ya.
No, I thought the same thing. It's like, yes, see?
And also the fact that our messaging is all about freeing yourself from anything that's been oppressive, whether it's fear and anxiety to come out as LGBTQ plus or
Yep.
fear and anxiety about religion in healing religious hurts. Our mission is all about freeing our readers, and we're freeing ourselves in our writing expressions while composing the books. It's such an exciting experience, especially
Yes,
when you write things that you've never even told other people. And now you're
yes.
putting it in a book.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. I know I'm revealing a few things too, and maybe you are too. And that's like, oh my gosh. And so are our contributors. They're spilling out their guts. Some of them
Yeah.
have never told their story or a certain circumstance that has happened in their life. And I admire them for doing that. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's freeing them. It's
hmm
freeing them.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very symbolic because when you finally tell your truth, especially in a public forum like a book, it's like opening the door and letting in the light and letting in all new energy that will flood the room, flood your life with new courage and confidence to live a new way in a way that's not hiding behind closed doors, that's
Right.
announcing to the world, I'm out, come in, here I
Yep.
am. It's really
Yep.
amazing. And same
And
with
in fact,
religion. hmm
go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that the same message applies to religion. When you open the door on your faith, by finally expressing yourself, because that's very personal, how you worship or not.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so, okay, your turn, Joni.
Okay. I was just going to say about 10 minutes ago, my phone did a little beepy thingy and it said, oh, 1 year ago, I mailed the book to the Pope, and again, it was just that coming out to the Pope, letting him know that there are wonderful ways that the Catholic Church can accept and celebrate gay coupleship. And woohoo, I still think that maybe None Better had an influence on his allowing blessing. I really believe that. So, yes, to be able to come
So,
out, share your true story, and see how other people react to it and deal with it is just beautiful.
yeah. So you and I did a live 1 hour radio interview yesterday on a station in Ashland.
Yeah.
Joni, what was the station?
KSKQ.org,
hmm With the love,
FM 98.9.
okay, with the lovely, amazing um, hostess,
Renee.
and she was phenomenal. And you and I talked about how we've done the books together and the whole experience of it and the influence on the world. And it was just wonderful. So anybody, if you're able to listen to the interview, I hope there's a link on their website.
Yes,
Please
there
do.
is. And it'll
Okay.
be there for 2 weeks. It'll be
Oh,
there for
okay.
2 weeks.
Oh, excellent. It was so good. It was so good. All right,
Yes.
Joni, what else about editing do you want to share with people out there who are trying to write a book?
Well, I think part of the editing is you have a team of editors at Two Sisters Writing. And I
hmm
think that's important to talk about because everybody has fresh eyes to look at it. I've
Right.
had when I was writing None Better, I had my sisters, I had Sally, I had Leah, I had other people look at it as well. And we catch things and some there are still some errors in None Better, if you believe it, whether it's a typo or a spelling or a this or a that, but it's not totally perfect. And I know that's okay with me. Probably in the literary world as a business owner, you want it to be absolutely perfect. But editing takes a real eagle eye to do that. And it takes a team. And I just want to say thank you to your team for doing that. And maybe you can elaborate on that team part of editing.
We have amazing people on our team. We have Mamuda, we have Emily, we have Jessica. we have had Hazel, and we've had others who help with proofreading and editing. And these people are so skilled at catching any punctuation that's wrong, any inconsistencies in the stories. They raise questions and put them in the margin for the author to answer. Um, and I do the final editing and approval of everything. However, having other people's eyes on a manuscript that they've
Yeah.
never read
Yeah.
before, they're going to notice things that I might overlook because
Right.
I've read it so many times, just like the author. Like sometimes things have double meanings or can be misconstrued, or through the
Oh,
eyes of someone with a certain life experience, whether it's their
yeah.
age, um, whether it's their geographical location, whether it's their ethnicity and cultural background, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's their LGBTQ plus identity. They're going to
Yes.
filter everything through eyes that might be more sensitive to someone who isn't familiar. And
Right.
so that's really helpful because there have been lots of books that have come out and sparked uproars because they're either ethnically insensitive or the author meant no harm, but the author just was ignorant to the issue and it caused a massive problem. So it's really important to have a diversity of perspectives reviewing a manuscript before it's published. So we're
Right.
very blessed in that we have amazing people on our team. And then Catherine will read, my sister Catherine, business partner, she'll read something and she'll have a whole new perspective on things that I
She
didn't
is
even
so
think.
wise.
Yeah, she really is. So it's important. Now, there's also the risk that sometimes we let family members read books or friends, and um, I've heard this from so many authors that people close to them don't have their best interest in mind. They're going to
Ooh.
filter everything through their agenda for the person
Mm,
book.
mm,
And then they're
mm,
trying to say, well, don't write this, don't publish this, you can't say that. It's your
mm.
book. You get to do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody and you've consulted with a lawyer to make sure you're not incriminating yourself or other people in ways that could get you in trouble. It's your book. So be careful if you let your friends and family read something and then they're going to jump down your throat saying, you can't, you can't, you can't, because you can.
Right. Right. And as you talk about that, I think about how much time it takes to edit, and you really have to think and when you tighten it up, when you do that cutting, it just takes, for me, it takes time. You've been doing it for a while, but for me, it takes time. And so I need to reread sentence. Need to reread that paragraph. And sometimes I just have to walk away because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just boggled in my mind. What would be the better way to say that? Or what would be a word to change or whatever. And so but it takes time. I find I can't rush through it. If I start to rush, it's not working right. So I got to get up and get away for a little bit and then come back to it. Do you do that too when you're editing?
I'm totally in that because I want to make sure, again, I want to preserve the sanctity of the passage, but I also want to hack it down so that it's just more bite size. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a
Mm-hmm.
slice of bread instead of a loaf.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
reader can enjoy bite by bite, not be face this ginormous thing that they can't consume. So
Right.
yes, absolutely. And I also um agonize over every word and sentence. I don't just flippantly slice stuff out. I make sure um I am respecting the creation.
And you said that you do that intrinsically. Is that just like this major gift that you're blessed with, or have you learned these skills and about Elizabeth? I'm like so intrigued by that.
Oh, thanks, Joni. I think it's definitely both. It's experience, but it's also Catherine and I were just always very, very good at English, writing, grammar, punctuation, composition. We were English majors at University of Michigan. We both have master's degrees in writing. And then our business has just, you know, given us all this extra experience, but um it's also I call it being a literary chameleon, and I think being mixed race has enabled me to see things from multiple perspectives and take on the voice of whoever I'm writing or editing for. And so in your case, Joni, I mean, I've known you for what, 2 years now?
Yep.
Something like
Just close to it. Yes.
okay. So I've gotten to know you and your personality and how you express yourself. And so in the course of editing your work, you'll write something and you've thankfully followed all my directions in my book coaching program and you're very vivid. You have tons of details. And then sometimes I can read something and I say, I know what Joni's trying to say here. And she said it in a certain way, but I can massage this sentence to pack a more powerful
Ooh,
punch.
ooh, massage. Oh, I like that word. Okay. Sorry.
And
You
so,
sounded good.
so I know what you're saying, but I have the ability to like punch it up a little bit.
Mhm.
And believe me, Joni's writing is very energetic already. It's very
Mhm.
energetic. So I'm just saying that as an example that
Yes.
I can take what
Thank you.
I make it better. It's going
Yes.
from great to or excellent to phenomenal. You see what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and the other thing is that because of your experiences, I know from my Catholic stuff, my LGBTQ stuff, you have been so heartwarming and non-judgmental. And as an editor, that's what you have to do. You have to put your own beliefs or your own thoughts off to the side so that you can truly edit the person's work that you're doing. And so whether
Mm,
you agree or disagree with that person, you've got to remove that to be able to do what they want. And that to me is so powerful. It is so powerful.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. There requires a bit of objectivity and also keeping in mind who's the reader. What does the reader most need to hear? How is this going to resonate with them? How
Mhm.
can this help them? So you're kind of
Yes.
working from multiple perspectives in the course of the
Right.
editing. Let me just share, Joni, that it snowed today in Michigan and
Oh my gosh.
I wish I could show you. It's many inches and it's the fluffy, it looks like winter. It's
Oh my God.
beautiful. It's beautiful, but it feels like winter, hence the thick sweater.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it is so delightful to work at home, immersed in manuscripts, just words. I'm so blissed out when I do this. It's silent, it's still. I'm my own boss. I'm doing something that's going to help the world. And it's just such a blessing to be able to
Wow.
do this. It's so much work. I work breakfast to bedtime, except for when I go to the gym or, take time for my family. But I work weekends by choice. I take time off too, believe me. But
Mhm.
I love it. It's such a gift to be able to do what we do here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing.
Wow.
And we're
High
so
fives.
honored.
Hey, tens. Oh my
Thanks.
gollies.
And it's a blessing because we get to work with you, Joni, and people like you who have powerful messages and missions for the world.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And just being open to surprises that come in so many different ways. And I know you journal and I journal, and there's other things. And I don't edit my journaling. Probably if I open it up, I probably wouldn't even be able to read it. It's so scratchy. But the point is that our hearts are in it. Your hearts
Mhm.
are in what you do. It's your life. It's your mission. And that's what I've been doing with the books that we're writing as well. And so
Yes, yes, yes.
I just hope and continue that we are staying on this path of cutting and trimming and eagle-eyeing it, and at the same time being open to what might be flowing that surprises us. I just
Hmm.
think those are two great topics we covered today.
Hmm.
And for people out there, I know all this, we've got a coaching class coming up, and I highly recommend it if you're wanting to write a book, all these things we keep talking about. Stick with the best. Stick with Elizabeth and Catherine at
Oh,
twosisterswriting.com.
Thank you, Joanie. Thank you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next session starts April 11th. That is just in a few weeks, where you can write, publish, and promote your book, learn everything you need to know in my 6 months to best-selling book success program that Joanie is an example of how it really, really works. So please go to twosisterswriting.com and go to coaching to sign up and learn more. And also, please pre-order our two books,
Yeah.
Joyously
Joy.
Free and Healing Religious Hurts, which are also at twosisterswriting.com in the bookstore. So thank you for your support. Thank you, Joanie, for this excellent, excellent show today. And didn't you said the number of talks we've done over the months has been what number?
I think it was 34. Somebody told me that was 34.
Wow,
34 podcasts.
that's incredible.
Yes, it
That's
is.
really
I mean,
wild.
people could write a book just based upon what we've done.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we've shared a lot of information. So
Or
everybody,
maybe
please,
we'll put it all in a book, Elizabeth. How
yeah.
to write a book. Here we go.
So
Yep.
everybody, please go to twosisterswriting.com. Please share these videos with anybody who it can help, who's writing a book. Please also like the video and subscribe to the channel so you get a notification every week when we go live. So I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. And Joanie, any
Have an
final
eagle
words?
eye. Just keep loving life and just keep editing. Just keep editing.
Thank you, Joanie. And everybody, we'll see you next week. We wish you happy writing and happy reading.
You bet. Big hugs. Bye.